So can one of you start this pod? Because I don't know what to say.
Jaymes, you can.
Oh, brilliant. What should we go into?
Well, you can welcome everyone and tell them what episode it is, season, what we normally do.
Oh, God. My brain is a fucking sieve, mate.
Let's start with the season. What season are we on?
Season 5. No, I'll take the piss. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Hotspur Way Show, Season 2, Episode 11. I'd say we're back with a bang. But, yeah, that bang was disappointing. That was rather shit at the weekend, wasn't it?
Completely fair.
Should I just say what I said before we start recording?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who thought it. Anyone who's of a certain vintage, so I'm 45, and so when you see Spurs in the 90s, when I saw where the sun was in the sky and I saw that shadow overlooking Richmond's ground, and if you watched, what's it called? Coach Lasso, Ted Lasso, whatever it's called. You'll know what I'm talking about. You two have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm sure other people do. Right? And I just thought, I don't think we're going to win this one. And then they started off the way they did. We couldn't string 3.5 passes together. And I just knew it. It was one of those things where I just knew we weren't going to play well. We weren't going to... Sorry, there's a cat with a rattle, if you can hear it. That's more exciting than that game. And
more movement.
Yeah, it's more movement, definitely. And I don't know, it was one of those things where I sort of turned off. And I knew it was going to be one of those games. And it was a throwback to the 90s, where for some reason we thought we were better than we were. I don't know, we were complacent. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it. Look, we're going to get into Ange a bit later. What did you guys think?
Fucking terrible. I think considering they've not won a game yet, we gifted them that. It was just really miserable to watch. Like I was a bit like you. I kind of switched off. It became really predictable in the end. Udebe got injured as well again, didn't he? After coming on.
I didn't realise he
that was
came
midweek
on.
though.
It just everything about it was cursed. That's how I felt watching it.
Fucking South London, right? Yeah, whenever I go, I'm being serious. Whenever I go fucking across that bridge, I get ill. I don't know what it is. It's happened like 4 or 5 times. I go over the fucking Thames and I get ill, and I don't get it. I don't know what it is. Anyway, what more can we? Are there any positives? Did you see any positives? Did anyone play well? I don't remember us even shooting at goal. I think we 2 or 3. I think. What the stats say, but I don't remember any shots at goal.
It's fairly even shot wise. Like we created basically the same XG as Palace. We had half their shots on target, which I think probably sums it up. But yeah, it was just shit, wasn't it? And like you're saying, Jaymes, like you could just tell from like those first few minutes, yeah, we're not getting anything out of this. We could have played another fucking 270 minutes, like another 3 full games, and we still wouldn't have scored. No matter who we'd have put on, we could have brought Kane back, we could have brought Leddy out of retirement, fucking given Bale a new shot in his knees. Like we'd have just never scored. It was not happening. I think the only place to really come out of credit would probably be Solanke, if that.
His work rate, right?
Yeah, that was about all we had going on. Everything else was just, not working, to say the least.
All right. So if any of you've got anything else to say about the game, then say it here. If not, I've got an important question to ask. Anyone want to say anything about the game, or we're done with that?
Not particularly, no.
There's nothing more to say, is there? Really? It's just a clusterfuck of
Might be
shit.
sick, but other than that.
Yeah.
Right. So why? Why does that happen? I know it's an impossible question to answer, but go on, have a go.
Well, unlike many doctors in this country, Dr. Tottenham doesn't work for the NHS. When you want an appointment, he comes for you. And he comes hard.
He does a home visit.
he is on tour right when you need him. Yeah, he was there, wasn't he? It was just one of those games, and there are a lot of things wrong with the performance. I think we were just tactically outclassed, to be quite honest about it.
But
Do you think it was tactical? I thought it was I thought everybody was individually shit. I don't know how much better I can put that.
Hannah, I completely agree with you. Even Ange, even in the press conference and his interviews after, he was shit. He was down. Everyone seemed down like quite a bit. I don't know. Look, we don't know what goes on at Hotspur Way, right? I mean, we don't know. We don't know. Maybe something big happened. Maybe there was a massive bust up the day before or on the day. Or I don't know, they found a turd on the coach. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense that they maybe it does. I was about to say it doesn't make sense that they play the way they played against West Ham and then they do that against Palace, who are a team that aren't as good as West Ham. But that happened. And so is it one of those things where you can just say it's one of those days? If so, how do we eradicate that? Because we're never going to be a top club. You don't see it from the top clubs, do you? You don't see the top clubs just not turning up. And we're talking about 100% of them, not just the players. But everyone just seemed off it. I don't know, did you notice, like during the game, because of the way the dugouts are at Selhurst Park, it's basically not far off like Hackney Marshes. I mean, if you just take a look at the way it looks, and you could see even the guys on the bench, they weren't interested. They were just sat there, just like they weren't even. Some of them weren't look like Berryvale wasn't even looking at the game. At some points, Ryan Mason was like turning around. They weren't there. They weren't at the races, and I don't know why that happens. I wish I knew. It would be great if we could know why. And so I suppose this takes us into the next bit that we wanted to talk about, right? Which is the Ange debate. Jaymes, where are you on Ange?
Still pro Ange, and always will be. I think one of the main reasons, I think one of the stronger reasons is that there's not actually a coach out there right now that would do better with us this season that's available. That's one big reason, but the main reasons are, it's still early days, like in this whole project, and one thing I think is important to note is how much this squad has been turned over since Ange arrived. I was looking earlier, and in the last game under Mason, on that last game of the Conte shit show season, there's only 7 senior Alfred players that remain in that squad. And I'm not being funny, but that is a hell of a lot of turnaround in your team. And you think how many of like the established players have gone from that squad. Your Dyers, your Kanes, even some of the midfielders and other sort of defenders who'd been at the club a little while who have gone. It's not going to click overnight. You look at Chelsea, they've been going through the same thing. Under Poch, things weren't quite clicking. Maresca, things aren't really clicking. Tuchel, it was a rough start. Potter's tenure was awful. Like, when we have this much overhaul, things aren't going to run smoothly. We're not going to, it's not FIFA where you can just straight away be at the top of the league running everything. And I think it's important to be humble about this in football, because Tottenham Hotspur, we're not Real Madrid, we're not Bayern Munich, we're not Barcelona, we're not Manchester City. As much as we all want to be, we're not that club. We've never been a club that wins and competes for the league every season. That's not been us. And so to get there, it's going to take a lot more than 2 transfer windows and sacking a manager, changing your direction every season. It's not how football works anymore.
Hannah, what do you think? I agree with everything you said.
Perfectly put. I mean, to be honest, if you look at Real Madrid, Barcelona, one of the standout things, if you remove yourself from the performance stuff, is their blind loyalty to their club. And the fans are so invested in what's going on. And I think we pick and choose when we're in and when we're out. I just don't understand that. Like, I'm Ange. There's no one else that I'd want steering this right now. Like, we've always said on here how good a man manager he is. He's playing a 17-year-old at the moment, which in seasons before we wouldn't have wanted that to happen because he would have been absolutely destroyed mentally. So just how quickly do people think these things happen? Have they ever watched football before? Is it speaking for the sake of speaking?
I agree. So, look, I felt down after that game. I've not listened to any pods or anything since. Just been too busy. Sometimes I didn't want to, and I was thinking about it just before we started recording, to be honest. And I haven't been on Twitter really, other than to send in your questions, which a few people have. We'll get to them in a minute. It was, well, if some people were thinking, and I'm guessing they are, that, well, if Ange loses against City and Villa, then that might be it. Or maybe other people were saying, I'm guessing they're saying that, oh, if the board see that it's mathematically impossible to get top four, then he's going to be done. Why would, number one, a fan think that, seeing as them lot down the road where they had spent millions and had 2 8th place finishes? You could say 1 FA Cup, which was Emery's Arsenal, not his. Okay. Why can't we say, well, why can't we do that? Why can't we stick with someone and give him time? Because at the end of the day, unless we're going to have a huge budget and blow everyone out the water, which ain't going to happen, let's be honest. Okay, it's not going to happen. Then we're going to be spending on par with most other teams in and around the top 5, I would say. Right? So we're only going to gradually progress. That's if we get one or two signings over another team in the top 5. And so the only other thing that can happen is coaching. And that takes time. As far as I know, I mean, in any walk of life, that takes time. It's not something that happens straight away. And I think I said it on here. I think I did. It must have been on here. I believe that we're going to be ready to rock and roll in what season are we in now? 24-25.
Yeah.
So not next season, which will be 25-26. In the 26-27 season, I know it's not what you want to hear, guys. Oh, I know that you two probably don't care, but the rest of you, I mean, I believe that in the 26-27 season is when we are going to have that blueprint in place, where we have Mikey Moore at the age of 19, for instance. We have Berrival, Gray, and the rest of them, and another few, maybe 1 or 2 world-class signings in the team. And that's when we're going to go for the title. And I hope to God that our board think like that. Because what are we doing otherwise? So let's say they say, right, let's just say we're in a position, I don't know, let's say it's March right now. And because we lost at Palace, we're now 2 points. We cannot qualify for the Champions League. And we're out of the Europa League as well. If you go to sack this manager, it's one of the biggest mishaps in leadership I would have ever seen. And this is where you have to just close your ears to what the fans are saying and let it play out, right? Because at the end of the day, I hate to say it, but look at what them lot down the road are doing. And I've had arguments where people have said to me, but you can't compare us. Well, you have to, because we're in a football league, and there are other teams they were at the time, we were above them, if you remember. And they stuck with this plan. They believed in it and they backed him. Even though I think he's a muppet, he's their muppet. and he's doing stuff for them, and it's working. And so we need to, not that the board have said anything, they haven't, but we do have some people on the Spurs board who can't seem to hide their feelings. I remember when Donna, when she turned around, she says, "This is shit." Do you remember that? Things like that, they don't, that doesn't help. Now, I that hasn't happened from what I know. I don't know. Has it happened after the Palace game? I don't know. Right? But we can't have that sort of non-class behaviour happening. We have to be a bit more of a classier club. And that's from right at the top all the way down to us. And so, I don't know, guys, you've been on Twitter and whatever. What have people been saying? Is Ange out trending again? Because it seems to be not one week and then the next week it is. We have such a bipolar support. So what's been happening?
I steered clear because of the predictability of it all. So I've actually not been on to read it. So Jaymes can probably fill us in on that.
Yeah, it's been a mixed bag. But there are some absolute just die-hard Ange outers out there. And there's a few that are backing him to the hills, which is really nice to see. But I just want to call out some Tuesday twats, if you will. So the first is Age 2000, who quotes...
one minute.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, you just went Dalek on us. We need the world to hear these say it again. Who is
Apologies. It? Yeah, so the original tweet was from the club, and it was Ange's post-match interview, pitch side, and Twitter user Matt Page 2000. Make sure you get that correct. Everyone. Sentence.
M-A. How do you spell it? M-A. Let me go and look him up.
M-A-T-T.
Yeah.
P-A-G-E.
Yeah.
Then 2000 in numbers.
Right, let's see this guy.
So 2 days ago, after the post, he quoted, "He's on borrowed time, if you ask me, ... And then Het Spurs, H-E-T Spurs, said, "Won't beat City or Villa. He will be in trouble. All the focus on United now soon will be on us." To which Matt then replied, "We lose both, I think, and then hopefully that'll be it."
What do they want, these people?
They want Ange to be sacked and us to lose games.
No, they want to be right.
Yes.
I don't think they care about our club at all. I really don't. I just imagine living like that every day. Imagine every time watching us, effectively wanting us to lose to prove your point. Get a job.
I shouldn't have done this. I wrote Ange out. And if you just write Ange out and you go to top, there's someone who, so at KANESZN1, he's actually changed his handle so that it's worst league start since 2008. Sack him tonight. 3 wins in 11 months is a fucking disgrace. Ange out. And he's got a picture of Ronaldo. Fat Ronaldo.
Oh, I've just seen that.
But we can't take people like this seriously, can we? We can't. No. I mean, there's a lot though on Ange out. It's actually pathetic. Oh, and they want us to bring Nagelsmann in.
Oh, again.
Yeah, but he's managing his country. I'm not being funny. He's going to be out there, and he's not a great manager with sort of when it gets to sort of like the bigger level that our fans want us to be at. Like, he's a horrific coach with egos, and any big name players. His tenure at Bayern Munich showed that quite evidently, and it makes you think, well, when he was available, why didn't we go for him? Why didn't United go for him? And there are a few other big clubs. I think PSG needed a manager at the time as well. Why didn't they go for him? Chelsea as well. And you've got to think, well, there's got to be a red flag there somewhere. It was like Ten Hag. I remember a few fans were saying, "Oh, why didn't we get Ten Hag when we were looking for a manager?" And now look at the shit he's created at United. That's why our board might be sort of incompetent in some ways, but I think when it comes to sort of now where we are as a club and getting the right people in, they are very, very good at it.
And I would
There's an
argue
emphasis
also
on.
that however incompetent people will argue that they are still more competent than all of us because I couldn't tell you the information that they have. You know, I'm happy to admit that I don't even know who we'd get.
Well, that's the thing. There's no one out there.
There's no one.
You
That's
have
the,
to pay off massive fees, and I'm not being funny. We've been stung enough with Conte, Mourinho, as managers. Let alone, we've paid out big money for players like Ndombele and Lascelles. So it's not something our board are going to do.
and it's not just that. So Ali Gold, right? I think is a lovely chap, and he's said it in the past. He said it last season. He said it this season as well. That the whole atmosphere at the training ground, at the stadium, all the way down to the tea lady, everyone is happy, and it was awful under Conte. They said, people's they were walking, their shoulders were down. Now everyone's up, and so it's not just about the here and now. It's about creating a philosophy, and I promise you guys, it takes years. It can't happen overnight, and so I don't think, not that we're talking to the board, not that they listen to this, but we imagine. But although I have worked with Donna Cullen before, so there is that. So
Is she nice?
she's lovely, but she's
Oh, there we go.
she's very good at. So okay, I've said this before. I was before you were on actually, Hannah. But
Okay.
what I find weird with, I'm going on a tangent now, is that I worked on one project with her in 2015, and she was fantastic. It's so rare. God, this sounds arrogant, but it's so rare that I learn something new. At my age, it's rare that I learn new things, and I love it. I love it when you collaborate with people and you learn new things. And I learned quite a bit, right? And I just thought, wow. And then I didn't know. I actually still don't know. Is she a Spurs fan? I don't know. Apparently she is. I don't know. There was no football talk at the time, but she was great. Everything that's happened PR wise since she's been at the club, it's either not her, she's a lizard person, or they're not taking her seriously. Because I don't quite understand how the person that on a project we collaborated with her on, how that all went weird. I mean, not weird. The project went great. Sorry. How on earth the club has had so many epic fails on the PR side is a bit odd. That I find a bit odd. Where were we? Right, so what were we talking about? I've gone off.
And out on socials. I was saying,
Yeah.
there's a trend at the minute. I was on a note on people are going over he's had 10 defeats in his last 20 league games, and it's basically a trend of making up seasons and periods of games to make his record look worse than what it is. But by the same token, he's had 7 wins out of the last 9. Oh, that's a pretty good record for any club. 7 wins out of 9. I think anyone would sort of take that. I mean, I actually kind of want to look at Manchester City's record now to sort of compare. Well, they've probably been winning everything since about.
Yeah, but you can't compare them. Okay, I knew. Oh, right, I want to go back to my point. Right,
City have the same record, 7 wins in 9.
Oh, there you go. Right. So my point was that if we had Ten Hag as boss, even though I back every manager until I can't tolerate, even if I couldn't tolerate them anymore, even on here, would I go fully get out of my club, all that? I don't know. I don't know if I would. We've not been in that situation yet, right, with this podcast, so I'm not too sure. I mean, when we started this podcast off, it was in 2017. We had Poch, and it was that season. And we did 4 or 5 episodes at the end of each game in Larnaca. A lot of us went upstairs in the pub. There was a little storeroom, got a microphone and started chatting. And that's how this podcast started. Then they couldn't be bothered and it stopped. So we've had good runs so far, right, with Poch and sort of Postecoglou. So I don't know, would I do that? But maybe. If Ten Hag was our manager, he's a vacuous, soulless plum. I wouldn't want him at the club. It's obvious that it's not going to work. It's very obvious, and sometimes when you say you can't keep changing managers, sometimes you have to, because it's very obvious. The writing's not just on the wall. They've actually built a wall and spread out the letters. It was so obvious with him that he wasn't the right fit. Okay, I mean, and the stuff that he was saying in the media as well, where that game when we thrashed them, we destroyed them, and he was like, well, there's some really good points. What game were you watching? Is this what you go and tell your players? No wonder they don't respect you, right? So in some situations, yes, you can. But this one for me is so unwarranted. I'm going through these tweets now, and the funny thing is, a lot of them seem to be bots. The thing I find really interesting is a lot of them have this black and white picture of Ange, and then like massive red lettering. What's the red lettering all about? I thought these people didn't like the AIA. Why are they using the same red? I don't get it. I like just. Do you get my point though? That we are up, we're playing better, and I know Jaymes, you love stats. You're a stats nonce, but
Massive.
I'm not really. Yeah, I'm not really into stats. But it's obvious we're playing better this season, and it just takes time. Any other points you want to say?
I say, just to go back to the stat nonce vibes, because they ain't going anywhere. If you look at goals scored, we're I think third in the league for goals scored.
Yeah.
And goals against, joint fourth.
Haven't we conceded the same amount as Arsenal?
Yeah, because he's the same amount as best defence in the league, Arsenal. Only one more than City. Only City and Chelsea have scored more than us. And Chelsea had that freak result against Wolves, so that's a bit skewed anyway. So just trust the Aussie. He knows what he's doing. Just give him a chance. He's older, wiser, more grisly, just everything more than all of us at the end of the day. And he's been round the block enough times.
You're never beating those allegations.
I never will. It's part of the brand, Hannah. Come on. Yeah.
So
let him do his thing.
Yeah, before we get on to one of the questions from listeners, I really believe that Daniel Levy is a massive micromanager. I mean, it's not that I just believe it because I think it. I mean, there's so many people that say it, that have worked with him, that have known him. We've seen interviews where they've said it, right? And I had a real big issue. Like, I didn't like what Conte did, but if you just were to read the words of what he said without the emotion put in, then basically reading between the lines, he's basically saying that it's because of Daniel Levy, right? That's basically what he was saying, because he was saying, like, look all the managers that were here. What, they're all rubbish? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is that we know that Daniel Levy has gone to the players before in the past, and when they've sort of said, no, it ain't working, the manager's gone, right? And so I don't think this is happening here. I mean, I know it's not happening here. So he would have gone, but I don't know what my point is. My point is that we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, other than the fact that they have backed him to a certain extent. I think that the transfer window that we had wasn't the best. I think that we should have gone out and maybe strengthened a bit more. The Werner thing is it's one of those things in life that we may look back on in many years. Like Hannah, when you're like 70 years old, we'll like laugh about it. Well, I'll be 103, won't I? But yeah, I mean, we'll look back on it and say, like, what happened there? But we just need to give this guy and his team time, and the players. And again, in January, I think we will strengthen. Again, in the summer, we're going to strengthen. And look, if it was, let's say we go through a period where, I'll tell you what, let's just take a look at some of our fixtures, right? Here we go. You ready for this? I'm not. Here we go. Right, so let's just say in November, we've got Villa, Galatasaray, Ipswich, City, and Roma. Let's say we lose all of those 5 games, and then in December, December the 1st, we play at home to Fulham. We get smashed 3-0. We go to Bournemouth on the 5th of December, get dicked 3-0. At that point, you can say something's gone wrong. He's lost the dressing room, and even though we love you, Ange, unfortunately, I don't know what the fuck's happened, but maybe it's time to go. We haven't been on any of these runs. We've not done the AVB thing or the Poch thing under Ange. Why on earth? Where's this rhetoric coming from? This narrative. I don't quite get it. Other than what you're saying, Hannah, that everyone just they want to be right, and that is the truth, by the way. And that's what social media has done. Right? It's given everyone a voice, even though people really shouldn't have a voice. Most people shouldn't anyway, and the voice that they do have is pathetic. So yeah, if it comes to that, you hold your hands up and say, I don't know. I mean, we're not going to get relegated, are we? Right? So, but I don't think it will come to that. I don't think he's the kind of manager that allows that to happen. I don't think so. I think he has too much respect from these players. He's not one of these guys. He's not like Ten Hag where he will lose that respect. You know, he's got it. It's there. And so Palace was just one of those things. Anyway, who we got next? We're playing someone tomorrow, aren't we?
City.
Yeah,
City's
some Oasis shaggers.
B team, is it? Well, I heard it was their B team. They're bringing their
Probably
B
the
team.
under 12s.
Do you think we've got a chance?
You never know.
What?
Are you going, Jaymes?
I am, yeah. Taking the old man as well.
Nice.
Are you going, Anna?
No. I'll be in bed.
What, at
Boy,
8:15?
you're a fake fan.
Yes. Yes. I'll be watching it from my bed.
Oh, all right. Just fluff up a pillow for me then.
Just one.
Just. Well, you know, due to the surgery, I can't really have 2. This is the problem.
That's what she said.
Very good. What's going to happen? Should we do some predictions?
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Should we message? We need to message Josh.
I don't know if there's internet in the Romanian campsite. Is that?
Get Liam Neeson on the job. Right. Let's find out.
Jaymes, while we do this great podcasting, what do you think's going to happen?
Yeah. I'll try and prolong it as much as possible to get an answer. So it's a tough one to call, this, isn't it? I think what could happen is we could see a win, we could see a loss. We could even go to penalties, right?
It's going to penalties, right? There's no replay or anything. None of that nonsense.
Yeah, none of that white crap
Yeah.
around here. I'd quite like to go to penalties, to be honest, purely because I've never seen a penalty shootout in person, and I think that'd be a bit fun, to be honest. Yeah, it depends on what teams get put out. I think Pep's chatting absolute bollocks when he said he's going to play like just the academy kids. I think he's got a bit too much pride for that.
Did he say he said play the academy kids? Did it?
Well, to that effect, it's not like exactly. He said he's going to play like a lot of like the youngsters, so like the McAtees or Scott Bobs.
They're not bad.
Those kind of players. That's the thing. Like they're not. They're not fucking slouches. They're not, your Onomars and shit like that. So yeah, they'll put out a solid enough side, and we're gonna have to rotate as well. It's not just we can throw our strongest team out, because I think the game against Villa is probably gonna be more important for the season as a whole. So yeah, I mean, I do think we'll win. I think we'll probably win 1-0, something like that. I think Vicario will be kept busy even. Yeah, it'll be a 1-goal game, that's for sure.
And the goal is going to who?
I don't know. fuck it, Brennan. Why not?
All right, so you are saying we're going to win, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to play Dragusin in this game?
Yeah, I think you've got to rotate as many legs as you can. And I think the more you can rotate as well, which is another thing I think we've been struggling with and why the other competitions haven't been so smooth, is when we do rotate and put the more sort of fringe players in, it gives them a chance to actually play together and play the Ange way. And the more they can do that, the better it is for us throughout the season. So, yeah, I'm all for it. Get me Archie Gray on the pitch. I want to see Mikey Moore again. I want to see Richie up top. Yeah, have some fun.
Do you think Mikey will start?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you?
Yeah. So you got taken off quite early against Villa.
I just I've been looking at the team on the Spurs site, and I've just posted it on the group. If you take a look at the picture of Richarlison, it looks like Blade or another vampire has been at him. Look at what's going on there. Look, do you see what I'm saying? Anyway,
That
he
was
was
me
DMing
when I had
another
my photo with him.
15-year-old.
God, that was so poorly timed. I take it back.
By the way,
I see what you mean.
What's happening with Bentancur? Because is Farage taking care of the racism thing? Because I don't. He's not banned, is he? Still, are they waiting for the end of the season?
I don't know. I hope so. But he's getting away with it at this rate, isn't he? He's doing well, all right. I'll take it.
Lay low.
Yeah, lay low, low, low. That's the thing.
Very good.
Should that be the pod title? Lay low, low, low.
No, because if we're drawing attention to it.
Imagine that will get fucking Bentancur suspended after everything.
No one listens. It's fine. So is he? I mean, who are we rotating then? Because is Gray going to come in? Berryvale, who? What, all of them?
Yeah.
Put them all in.
I think it's going to be the Europa League team, pretty much. I think Werner will start.
Is Spence back in? Is he back?
I think he said he's returned to training. So yeah, I mean, even if he's got one leg and half an ankle, you might as well.
True. Oh,
I think he's our leading goal scorer in the Carabao Cup this season. So
I didn't realise that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg is a Spurs player.
He's only on loan.
Oh, really? I thought we had sold him.
It's one of those loan with options and obligation type shit.
Oh, fair enough.
Woke transfers.
So we've said what Josh's prediction is, right?
He said 2-1 City.
Hannah, what do you think?
Mine was 1-0, but like a smash and grab 1-0.
All right, shall I go big and say 3-2 to us?
Really?
Oh.
That's my prediction for Villa, not
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there's going to be goals in that game. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Right, so I think that's everyone's prediction, right? Should we take a look at some of these questions? This is like a really downhearted podcast, can you tell? Next week, apparently Josh is back. The Romanians have agreed to allow him on. You can all ask him questions on what we're talking about with regards to the Romanian massive cult that he's joined, but he will be allowed to join the podcast again. And let's see, because someone or a few did send in some questions. George, obviously, don't follow 1882. If Arteta stubbed his toe every time you beavoed a fish finger, Hannah, he's talking to you, I think. How many are you deep throating?
If Arteta stubbed his toe every time you beavoed a fish finger, how many? Oh, George, for fuck's sake. I don't think there's a correct way to answer these anymore. I think everyone assumes that it's an infinite amount.
It's not though, is it? It's about 16.
How do you know?
Well, 12.
You right. Prove us wrong then.
Was that a clinical trial?
I'd pay for it. I'd fund it.
Were you bored in hospital, James?
You know I was.
Was that the surgery? Tell us.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's. Come on, what else have we got?
Jamie says,
Fucking
why is everyone so lazy? I don't know what he means.
Does he mean
Lazy as
us?
in, I don't know. Jamie is Canadian. Are you talking about Canadians, Jamie?
We're not lazy. We work smart. If that's what you mean for us.
That's what lazy people say, though, isn't it?
I'm going to assume he doesn't mean us because that would be rude.
No, but it's like, you know, those people that go, "Oh, beauty's in the eye of the beholder." It's only ugly people who say that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like when you go on like a ugly bird's Instagram and all the hot ones are like gassing her up. It's like, pack it in. Come on.
But it's true, though, isn't it? You never see a really good look.
Turn my world upside down.
No, come on. We all have that one clapped friend, and everyone's there.
Right. So
that's thrown me.
We've got Villa
Right.
then. Villa, and when are we playing them? Saturday, Sunday?
Sunday.
Ooh, Sunday. 2 o'clock.
I think 3 of us are going, aren't we?
Who's the
I
3?
think Josh is going.
Josh
Oh
is
shit,
going.
he is.
Is he? He's going to Turkey.
Yeah.
Exactly going. Yeah.
It's not far from the
actually
Romanian border. Really? He's actually...
He's probably just getting trafficked there, let's be honest.
What's a border when you got a lorry?
That's his LinkedIn bio.
Right, I'm going to say then, I think this will be a high-scoring game. I think it'll be 4-2 to us.
Ooh.
4-2.
Hannah, you're going
I like
3-2, right?
I'm going 3-2. I'm not as bold as you.
And Josh says we're winning 2-1. Todd, what about you, mate?
Wait, is this Villa or City still?
Yes, babe,
Villa,
keep up.
Villa, sorry, my head's all over the place. Fuck me, I'm like John F. Kennedy. Yeah.
Or Joe Biden for you young'uns.
Oh, that man never ceases to amaze me. Oh,
I think he
I'd
doesn't
love
cease to
watch that.
amaze himself.
Well, Biden.
Yeah.
By the way, sorry, can we just go on a tangent? So I've never really cared about American politics until I saw an interview with Kamala Harris.
Oh,
Is that her name?
Jesus.
She is she's a dunce. Am I allowed to say that? Am I allowed to say that she's
This is a safe space.
right? Yeah, she
Unless she
is,
listens.
She wouldn't know what to do with it. With the information, doesn't matter. Then I listened to the podcast, all 3 hours and something of it, with Joe Rogan and Trump, and it was actually really entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Like I listen to Joe Rogan every week. I think he's great. I love the guy, and that was a really entertaining podcast. And I sort of everything I ever said against Trump, sort of a little bit take it back now. I don't care about politics really, but that was if you've not listened to that podcast and you've got 3 and a bit hours spare, go and listen to it because it's very interesting.
He's one funny cunt, isn't he?
He is actually, and he's quite intelligent. I
He
never.
knows his audience as well.
He does. Yeah, he's a bit of a he's a bit of a comedian. Like Joe Rogan is a comedian, stand-up comedian, right? And he was actually telling him like, you are a bit of a comedian. Like the timing when you do certain things is spot on. That really is. That's what like comedy is. It's all about the timing. And where were we? Villa. Yeah. So
James, what's your prediction?
Yeah. God. Again, this is so hard because Villa are playing so good, and John Duran is just fucking Adriano regen.
It's a good player, isn't it?
Are we home or away? Oh, yeah, we're home, aren't we? Fuck me.
Aren't you
I'm going
going?
and I don't even know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
aren't you going, babe?
Yeah. I'm just sitting there on the fucking M40 on my way to Rome.
Going to Aston. Can you imagine Tosh in Aston with his sliders?
I would make it out alive.
There's no Waitrose.
That'd be the worst part. I'd have a breakdown. You'd be like that in Catherine Tate sketch when she drives through Tottenham. Children. Going from Tottenham.
Me and Farm Foods trying to find quinoa.
Oh, Aston is a shithole.
Are these cigarettes organic?
But have you guys ever been to Aston?
I've been to
Fortunately not.
Birmingham.
I've been to.
Unfortunately.
I've been
to
to
the centre of Birmingham.
No, like the bull ring round there. That's not too bad. I was there in 2018, I think. But Aston, I was there 2012. What a shithole! I couldn't. Yeah, it was like being in Tottenham, like 1992. That kind of those kind of vibes where you didn't feel comfortable at all. I really didn't. And I can hold my own. I didn't feel comfortable. I just thought, no, I've got to get out of here. So, look, they're a great side. They've got a good manager as well. Let's be honest. He's really turned that club around. They did things there slightly differently to us. And there was a point last season, by the way, where there were rumours with the owners arguing. They seem to have sorted that out now. That things were going to go wrong, but they didn't. And what was interesting at Aston Villa was they did the exact opposite to us, or they've come to the same conclusion, but they did it in they did it the other way around. So they went to Emery, they identified him, and then they said to him, "Now you build the club." So in effect, he's actually a manager. He's not just the coach. He brought in the technical team. Monchi's there, right? He's mate Monchi, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And I think Sorry, carry on.
No, you say him, the other guy.
Just an important note for what you're saying here about Emery, Villa, and when he took over and he was given the keys. Who was the sporting director then?
Wasn't he ours?
It is ours. Yep. So, why don't some of you doubters just join some dots up for a minute here?
What are you getting at? But yeah, they
Countdown clock over that.
but they allowed him to basically build the club in his image, and because he's an experienced manager and he knows what he's doing, he could do it really quickly. With Ange, would things have been different if he was allowed to do that? I don't know. We'll never know. I don't know. But maybe that's a lesson for our board. Sometimes if you're going to go and get a manager and you're going to say that this is our guy, and you're getting him because he knows, or he's got a group of people around him that you can build a club around, and you let him go and bring them in. Maybe that is the way forward. But then again, with a board like ours, where everything buck stops with Levy, and that's the way it is, I don't think that would ever be possible. So it is what it is. But they're a very good side. I think they will finish top four. And good luck to them, apart from this Sunday. Any other points? Because I'm knackered. I know this isn't great podcasting, and we're slap bang before the City game, so we'll probably get 7.5 listens. But any other points, guys, before I talk about a film that I want everyone to go and watch?
None from me.
I want to hear the
About
film
pictures.
chat. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you happen to want to go to your local pictures or your local picture house, go and watch
Picture
the
house. Kill me.
go
I've never heard James laugh like that.
Oh, it's so fucking ancient.
Go and watch The Substance. Look, I'm not one for body horror. I've never been a fan. I don't quite get it. I think it's quite nasty. Do you guys know what body horror is?
No, I was about to ask you what it is.
You don't know what body horror is.
Is it porn?
Have you heard of The Human Centipede, the film?
Ah, yes.
Nice.
Have you seen it?
Challenging wank, but yes.
I was about to say I've seen the live action, but no, carry on.
So it's when. Okay, so I can tell you this because it's in the trailer, right? So body horror is, or I'll give you the quick synopsis of the substance. Demi Moore is an aging celebrity, and
Sign me up.
she's not feet. Yeah, this is her best performance, by the way, ever, absolutely brilliant. And so she basically she's in a car crash. She goes to the hospital, and then this person leaves her this USB. She plugs it in, and it says you can basically become like you used to be. So there can be another version of you, and you take this injection, this basically black market medicine, and a younger version pops out of her, but not out of where you think she would come out of. Basically, the spinal cord. Yeah, so she comes out of there basically, and it's quite graphic. At that point, I thought, oh, this is by far and away the worst thing I've ever seen. Until 1 hour later, after seeing what had, for me, was the most shocking thing I've ever seen, it goes up. Maybe 10 different levels, to the point where I was sat there laughing. But the film is so amazing. The story it's not subtle at all. It's so obvious what it's trying to show you. And all I could come away from watching that was that we are basically a bipolar. It's like the Spurs fan base. So you have the older lot who just like, I'll just kick it out from the back. Why do you want to just keep playing it around? And you've got the younger lot who are trying to do things differently. And then they argue with each other and they want to kill each other. And it's if you are a Spurs fan and you go and watch this film, just let me know what you think if you came up with the same analogy. But yeah, the substance, absolutely amazing. Although shocking, and you will never ever forget, especially the last 20 minutes, you will never forget those scenes. Because I've never seen anything like it. You have been warned. And there you go.
Oh.
Other than
That was
that,
intense.
oh, you wait until you see the film. Hannah, go to your pictures and watch it.
Go to the local picture house.
Yes, go to the picture house and watch it. Okay, but I do have to warn you once more that if you don't like body horror, so if you don't like people, if you're a bit cringy when people stick a needle in them, or there's a small cut or something like that, this is that's Teletubbies compared to this. So I just need to let you know that. But
I used to love sticking needles in people. I really enjoyed that job. Anyway.
All right, are we done then?
Is that be?
That's a short pod, 53 minutes. Any other news?
It was intense though.
Yeah, but
no time wasted.
But I know, but have you noticed that we seem to be talking about the same sort of things over and over again, other than the substance? It's like, why are you all, not all, but why are a lot of you being stupid about Ange out? Why do you want to be right? Get a life, blah, 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 blah. Next week, apparently, Josh will be on, and we are going to do the cancel feature. And remember, we've spoken about this, right? But we need all of us. We need all of us to be on. And I know the topic. None of you do, which is going to be is interesting. Yeah, I know what the topic is, but none of you do, and I'm not going to tell you until we start talking about it. And the good thing, guys, is that I'm not talking about you two, people listening, is that we just speak our minds. We don't give a shit. And if you don't like it, that's fine. Just like if you're at the picture house, you can walk out or turn off. And try and cancel us. It would be great if someone tried. We don't get any bad publicity, which is a shame. But yeah, it's something. It's a topic that I think needs to be discussed, and we're going to discuss it hopefully next week. Hopefully, after we've not lost another 2 games and we're going through Ange out tweets again. There you go. Nearly 55 minutes.
I guess.
No, don't. All right then. Good. All right, say goodbye, Hannah.
Love you, bye.
Oh, do you want to do your review thing quickly?
Yeah, give us 5 stars, thanks. Unless you're really, really disabled and you can't do it, in which case, get your carer to help you. Love you, bye.
Todd?
I don't love you, but give us 5 stars, or your cat is not going to be your cat very much longer. Yeah, thanks. Have a good evening.
Yep, it's easy, by the way. I still don't know how you do it, but apparently it's easy. You just rate the pod, and if you leave us some juicy comments, we will read them out. Just tweet us though. Just say like at Hotspur Way Show. Just say I've left a juicy comment. Read this one out, and we will. You can say whatever you want, right? It doesn't really matter. The algorithm doesn't care about what is written within the actual review. It does help if you do write a review as well as give 5 stars. It's like an extra bonus. But for the time being, they don't care what is written in the review. So you can literally write Arsenal are the best. And it doesn't really matter. It just makes us, more people listen to this. So see you later. Bye.